Joining us to look at that matter now is Olusegun Lano. He's the State Secretary, Council of Academic Staff Unions of Osun State-owned tertiary institutions. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
We saw you in that particular report. What's the situation of things?
The situation was like you saw it. We have been on strike for about 3 months, and this strike action was preceded by a 5 months of warning strike, which we observed 2 days every week for 5 good months. Throughout these periods, the periods of 5 months of warning strike and the 3-month period of the total strike, which still continues till now, government has not shown any seriousness in addressing the issues. Rather, government has complicated the issues, because while the issues we put on the table remain unresolved at all, government has complicated the issues by delaying the payment of salaries even after receiving the bailout funds from the federal government in the first instance. And on the other hand, government has introduced a subtle pay cut, which we are resisting. Our members, the generality of the academic staff members across the 4 tertiary institutions in Osun State, are set to continue this strike action, be what it may, if government fails to address these issues, because these are not issues we are raising for the first time.
What are the issues?
One, the mismanagement of contributory pension scheme. What we are doing under the guise of contributory pension scheme in Osun State has become a scam, because pension contribution deductions are not being remitted. At the moment I speak to you, the last remittance was made only last month, and it was for the month of September 2013. This is money that is supposed to generate interest for the benefit of the workers. The Pension Reform Act was enacted to relieve workers of the nightmares that follow retirement. But the contributory pension scheme, as it is being run in Osun State, has brought a worse situation than the Pension Reform Act sought to correct. And we are telling the government a very simple truth, that it is obvious that government is not being wicked, government is not being malevolent. It is that government is inescapably incapable to fund the scheme. And it is very simple. If you can't fund it, rather than leaving it to be at the detriment of workers, suspend it. Let's revert to the status quo. And then when we have the capabilities to run the scheme as prescribed by law, then we can pick it up. That is one. Then secondly, the issue of unpaid salaries and withheld deductions from salaries. There are statutory deductions with respect to repayment of bank loans, cooperative dues, union members' dues, and so on. We have not received these deductions even for the month of September last year. You can imagine the frustrations. The
union hasn't received the deduction since last year.
The deductions are not only meant for the unions.
Okay.
Workers take, they subscribe to cooperative societies, yes, where they save money in order to be able to make ends meet, and some even take bank loans. And the deductions made from their salaries to service all these commitments are supposed to be deducted by government from source. And these deductions are expected normally because they are part of the salaries. Having paid the workers their net salaries, you should follow on and remit the deductions to appropriate quarters.
In other words, the accounts have not registered those deductions.
Exactly. The accounts don't register. There is a disconnect between payment of net salaries and remittance of deductions made from the same salaries, to the extent that those September salaries has long been paid, but the deductions for that month are still with government.
Okay, so wait, hold on. You have received your September salary?
For last year, yes.
For last year?
Yeah, for 2014. But the deduction, that is, for example, but the deductions made from salaries with respect to trade union membership dues, bank loan repayment, commitment, cooperative society dues, are still with government.
From the month of September?
For the month of, it is even so terrible, because while deductions for September has not been paid, that of October was paid. You don't pay more, you don't pay more. Then from January up to date, although salaries too have not been paid for this month from January. So that is
from January, salaries have not been paid.
We have not been paid salaries from January. What government paid us for January and February were 50% of our salaries, supposedly. Government claimed to have paid 50% of salary, but we observed that the 50% salary government paid, there was a pay cut, a sub-2 pay cut. Because
under the guise of what?
Under the guise of, admittedly, not necessarily under any guise, but admittedly, government admitted that what happened was that they have withdrawn, they have cut off the financial effect of last promotion and a policy we call migration of lower cadres. And that is so terrible, it is so unbelievable that government could just cut salary under guise of paucity of fund, because promotion in academic institutions are earned on merit. You expend intellectual resources, you travel abroad for international conferences, you publish papers at cost to yourself in order for you to qualify for your promotion. And this promotion we are talking about has already taken notional effect since last October. It was government herself that selected January as the date of financial effect, as patriotic citizens, and as informed people who are aware of the financial challenges of government at this time. We tolerated the disparity of notional and financial effect. You know, you had a promotion that took effect since October, but you are told by your employer to wait till January for the financial effect to come, and you patriotically, without promise of arrears, you patriotically accepted. We carry letters to that effect. And without you seeing it coming, your salary was paid minus the financial effect of this promotion. That is morally unjustified.
Now that the bailout, sorry to cut you here, now that the bailout has come to Osun State, have you represented your case?
We have represented our case. We have represented our case, and of course, as I'm here, we are trying to consolidate on the representation of our case, that the state government should know that the financial effect of 2014 promotion and the migration of lower cadres are irreversible policies, and the only way to ensure industrial calmness is to do what is just, fair, and equitable. If instead of paying the 9-month salaries that are in arrears, if it is only 7 you can pay, in order for you to pay correct salaries, I don't think our members will have any grounds on that. But for you to cut salary under the guise of you don't have one, whereas in the first place, even by the way, all these monies were factored into the request for bailout. The federal government did not just determine the amounts to be paid to various states at our own discretion. The federal government requested states to file in their liabilities. And all these, our outstanding entitlements, including leave bonuses, were factored into the requested bailout. So we are baffled that now that the bailout has come, the song is different. And again, government has introduced what we would describe as delay tactics. Because just about when the bailout came, they decided to carry out a verification exercise. Yes, we are not opposed to verification, because government said they want to verify that there is no waste anywhere. Despite the challenges of unpaid salaries, some of our members who have traveled far away because of financial challenges had to come and presented themselves for the exercise. The exercise was successful. There was no case of loss of documents submitted. Everybody submitted his or her credentials.
This was when? When was this?
That was about 3-4 weeks ago. But to our surprise, the very following week, the week that followed the week of the exercise, government now said another verification is to take place. The question is, what happened to the one just concluded? You saw the original copies of credentials of everybody. People submitted photocopies of these credentials in 2 copies. They submitted their photographs. You are the custodian of the payroll. That should be enough for you to verify whether I'm a ghost worker or not. But for you to come around without bringing out the results of the just concluded verification exercise, you want to carry out another one when the much expected bailout is already in your custody.